Joseph Smith, prophet, fraud, or mastermind. The truth about Mormonism. Today, we explore the life of Joseph Smith, the man who claimed to receive divine revelations and founded the Mormon movement. Was he truly a prophet? Or was he simply a visionary with a remarkable imagination? Let's dive into the major criticisms surrounding Joseph Smith and the religion he founded, exploring historical controversies, failed prophecies, financial schemes, and accusations of deception. Stay with us until the end to uncover the mystery. The enigmatic founder. Joseph Smith, the founder of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is one of the most controversial religious figures in the world. To his followers, he was a prophet chosen by God to restore the true gospel. To his critics, he was a charismatic manipulator who created a religion for power, influence, and personal gain. But why does Smith's legacy remain so debated? The first vision, changing accounts. Joseph Smith claimed that in 1820, as a teenager, he prayed in a forest and received a divine revelation known as the first vision. According to his later accounts, God the Father and Jesus Christ appeared to him, telling him that all Christian churches were corrupt and that he was chosen to restore the true faith. However, the biggest issue with this story is that Smith told it differently on multiple occasions. Historians have found at least 4 different versions of the first vision, recorded at different times. For instance, in 1832, Smith only mentioned seeing Jesus and did not include God. However, in 1835, he said he saw many angels but did not mention God the Father. But in 1838, Smith said that both God and Jesus appeared. Critics argue that these inconsistencies suggest Smith fabricated or exaggerated the story over time to strengthen his claims as a prophet. The golden plates. One of the most remarkable aspects of Smith's story is the claim that an angel named Moroni revealed to him the location of ancient golden plates buried in a hill near his home in New York. These plates, he said, contained an ancient record written in a mysterious language called Reformed Egyptian. However, Smith was the only person who ever claimed to see the plates with his own eyes. His closest followers, known as the 3 witnesses, later stated they only saw the plates in a vision, not physically. Some critics point out there is not physical evidence of the golden plates exist today. Egyptologists also confirm that Reformed Egyptian does not exist as a real language. After translating the plates, Smith said the angel took them back to heaven, conveniently preventing anyone from verifying their authenticity. Many believe that the golden plates were an elaborate hoax to convince followers of Smith's divine authority. Failed prophecies, predictions that never happened. As a self-proclaimed prophet, Smith made several predictions about the future, many of which turned out to be completely false. For instance, the coming of Jesus Christ. In 1835, Smith claimed that Jesus would return within 56 years, by 1891. This, of course, did not happen. Smith also prophesied that Missouri would become the gathering place for the second coming as the Mormon Zion. However, in 1838, Mormons were forcibly expelled from Missouri. These and other failed prophecies led many critics to conclude that Smith was not a true prophet, since, according to the Bible, false prophets can be identified by their failed predictions. Deuteronomy 18 verse 22. Polygamy, a doctrine of manipulation. One of the most controversial aspects of Joseph Smith's life was his secret practice of polygamy. Smith initially denied accusations of plural marriage, but later, evidence showed that he had at least 30 wives, including teenage girls as young as 14, such as Helen Mark Kimball, women already married to other men, his followers' wives, whom he pressured into marriage under the claim that it was God's will. Smith justified polygamy by claiming that an angel appeared to him with a flaming sword, threatening to kill him if he did not marry multiple women. However, critics argue that Smith used polygamy as a way to control and manipulate his followers, particularly young women. Although the church officially banned polygamy in 1890, some fundamentalist Mormon groups still practice it today, leading to allegations of child marriages and abuse. The Book of Mormon, a work of plagiarism. The Book of Mormon, Smith's most significant religious text, claims to be a historical record of ancient Israelites who traveled to America. However, scholars have pointed out numerous problems with this claim. No archaeological evidence supports the events, cities, or civilizations described in the book. DNA studies show that Native Americans are not related to Israelites, contradicting Smith's claims. Large sections of the Book of Mormon closely resemble the King James Bible, despite being written thousands of years earlier. Many of its teachings mirror contemporary religious debates of the 19th century, suggesting that Smith borrowed heavily from ideas popular at the time. These issues lead many to believe that the Book of Mormon is not an ancient record, but rather a work of fiction created by Smith. The murder of Joseph Smith, a prophet or a threat? By the early 1840s, Joseph Smith had gained enormous power. He was not only the leader of the Mormon Church, but also the mayor of Nauvoo, Illinois, a military commander of the Nauvoo Legion, a private Mormon army, a declared candidate for U.S. president in 1844. Smith's increasing power made him a target of critics, both within and outside the church. The final breaking point came when he ordered the destruction of a newspaper, the Nauvoo Expositor, for publishing exposés on his polygamy and corruption. This act led to Smith's arrest and imprisonment in Carthage, Illinois. On June 27, 1844, an angry mob stormed the jail. Smith attempted to fight back with a pistol but was shot multiple times and thrown from a second-story window. His death cemented his status as a martyr among his followers, but to his enemies, he was seen as a dangerous fraud who had grown too powerful. So, was Smith a prophet or master manipulator? Even today, Joseph Smith remains a polarizing figure. Millions of Mormons revere him as a prophet who restored the true gospel. However, critics argue that he was a skilled con man who fabricated revelations, manipulated followers, and created a religion based on deception. Was Joseph Smith truly divinely inspired, or was he simply an ambitious man who built a religious empire through charisma and controversy? The debate continues. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of history's greatest religious mysteries, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Echoes of the Unknown for more unexplained phenomena, religious mysteries, and historical enigmas. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our next investigation into the unknown. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next mystery.